The Amazing World of Gumball looks like a cartoon fever dream, talking bananas, rainbow cats, and way too many fart jokes. But buried under all that chaos is some of the saddest, most soul-crushing episodes in cartoon history. This show didn't just make us laugh, it hit us with childhood trauma we didn't ask for. So today we're counting down the top 10 Gumball episodes that emotionally wrecked us, starting with the one that made me rethink my entire childhood. Episode 10, The Choices. Nicole Watterson is a certified powerhouse. She's fought monsters, beat up reality, and once straight up aged a man with just a stare. But in The Choices, we see something rare: vulnerability. This episode isn't about chaos, it's about regret.
Makes sense.
It opens with Nicole chasing a flying potato, which sounds like peak Gumball nonsense. But plot twist, it spirals into a full-blown life crisis. She starts questioning every decision she's ever made.
Wait, they say a single flap of a butterfly's wing can cause a hurricane on the other side of the world. So what would have happened if I'd never stepped on...
And we get a montage of all the paths she could have taken. She imagines marrying different people, having a totally different career, even living a completely different life. One that doesn't involve Gumball, Darwin, or Richard. And just when you think she might actually regret everything, she sees a flash of her current family and realizes this is where she belongs. Cue the waterworks. It's the first time the show really makes you feel the weight of being an adult. Dreams given up, sacrifices made, all wrapped in flying potatoes and cartoon weirdness. Sad? Yes. Existential? Absolutely. Episode 9, The Shell. The Shell isn't just a turning point for Gumball and Penny. It's the moment the show goes full emotional ninja and punches you right in the heart.
What's wrong, Gumball, honey? Don't you like Darwin's dinner?
I don't want to talk about it.
Gumball headbutted Penny and now he's never allowed to see her again.
This is the one where Penny, Gumball's crush, finally breaks out of her literal shell. No, like, actually, she's been hiding inside a peanut shell this entire time. And when she finally opens up, we see her true form, a shape-shifting, glowing spirit thing.
What the what?
But here's the kicker. Penny doesn't just pop out all confident. She's terrified. And Gumball? He panics and accidentally shames her in front of everyone. Smooth move, bro. The rest of the episode is this emotional roller coaster of Gumball chasing Penny through town, trying to fix what he broke. And along the way, he realizes she's not the one who needs to change, he is. He finally gets it together, confesses his feelings in the most awkward Gumball way possible, and says he loves her for who she is. Penny, fully transformed, accepts him back. It's sweet, weird, and totally tear-worthy. Episode 8, The Job. Richard Watterson gets a job. No, seriously, he becomes a pizza delivery guy for Fervitus Pizza.
Here I am, I got a J-O-B, earning plenty of dough for my family. Yeah, a Richard Watterson employee.
And for a second, it looks like he's finally turning his life around. But this is Richard we're talking about. Within minutes, he's eating the pizzas he's supposed to deliver, losing orders, and accidentally traumatizing customers. It's less job and more rolling disaster with cheese. Gumball and Darwin try to help clean up the mess, because of course they do, but their idea of helping only makes things worse.
Look at him. He's not going to keep this job for long unless we give him a hand.
Now, instead of just one problem, Elmore's got a full-blown pizza panic on its hands. The chaos builds until the family finally has to step in and stop Richard before he completely ruins the town's favorite pizza joint. And in the end, he goes right back to being unemployed. But somehow, that's kind of the lesson. Richard doesn't need a job to be lovable. He just needs to not destroy the neighborhood while trying, which for him is already a stretch. Episode 7, The Responsible. At first glance, this episode feels like pure chaos. Gumball and Darwin are left in charge of baby Anais, and you already know that's a terrible idea.
Oh, I can't believe I'm going to say this. I guess you guys are old enough to babysit?
But underneath the madness is one of the show's most quietly heartbreaking moments. The boys treat babysitting like it's a game. They flood the house, almost lose Anais multiple times, and treat everything like it's a joke. Until Anais, the literal baby, snaps. She calls them out for being reckless, for not caring, for never taking anything seriously, and then that's when it hits. She's been more responsible than both of them this entire time. There's this haunting moment where she just sits in the chaos and says, "You're not ready to grow up." And yeah, that line came from a toddler with better emotional intelligence than most adults. By the end, Gumball and Darwin realize they've let her down.
Please, sis, let your brother be responsible for once in his life.
They clean up the mess, not because they were told to, but because they want to do right by her. Episode 6, The Father. The father flips the usual Gumball dynamic completely. Instead of Richard being the lovable doofus, he becomes the villain, or at least that's how it feels. The episode kicks off with Gumball and Darwin realizing that Richard has been keeping secrets from them. Specifically, that he's been visiting his estranged father, Frankie, behind everyone's back. Frankie's a shady dude. He's a con artist, a thief, and kind of a disaster.
And if anyone asks, I was also here Thursday night between 8 and 11.
Nicole absolutely hates him. So when she finds out, the whole family goes on lockdown. But Gumball and Darwin, curious and naive as always, sneak off to find Frankie and end up bonding with him. He's fun, he's rebellious, he lets them do whatever they want. And for a second, it feels like they've found the cool grandpa they never had. Then things fall apart. Frankie robs a grocery store, with Gumball and Darwin as his accomplices, and suddenly, the fun grandpa fantasy turns into a full-blown crime spree. Richard finally confronts his dad and admits the truth. He was only visiting Frankie because he wanted a real father, someone who cared, someone who stayed, but Frankie never changed. The episode doesn't end with forgiveness. It ends with reality. Richard decides to walk away. Not for revenge, but for closure. It's a rare moment of maturity for Richard, and a reminder that sometimes, walking away from a parent is the healthiest thing you can do. Episode 5, The Origins. This one changes everything you thought you knew about Darwin. It all starts with Gumball, who flushes his pet goldfish down the toilet because he thinks it's setting him free. Darwin doesn't get freed. He gets thrown into a survival horror movie.
Where am I? Who am I? How do I get home? What is life? Okay, calm down. I got flushed, I'm in the sea, my name's Darwin, I don't know how to get home, and life is what you make of it. Everything is cool.
You watch this tiny fish fight through sewers, monsters, and garbage just to find his way home. He grows legs, lungs, emotions, all out of desperation to not be alone. And when he finally gets back, Gumball's like, "Oh, cool, he came back. No apology." But Darwin doesn't care. He found his family. Darwin wasn't born with love. He fought for it. He earned it. And every time Darwin smiles now, you feel it deeper because you know what it took. Episode 4, The Storm. Masami, the literal rain cloud, gets dumped and unleashes an actual emotional storm on Elmore. Gumball tries to help, but she doesn't want comfort. She wants revenge.
Alan is finally with the right girl, the one who has always loved him.
The storm? It's her. Every lightning strike is heartbreak. Every gust of wind is sadness. And she finally admits, when she's angry, people avoid her. But when she's calm, they forget she exists. She lets go in the end, not because she's healed, but because she's exhausted. And sometimes, that's enough. Episode 3, The Night. One of the weirdest, quietest episodes in the series. No main characters, no big story, just a glimpse into the secret lives of Elmore's side characters.
I'm a bun, I'm a tasty, tasty bun to be baked and eaten. Oh, how fun!
Banana Joe is coping with loneliness. Mr. Small is doubting his purpose. A janitor who thinks he's just background noise. Nobody sees them. Nobody cares. And in the morning, they all pretend like nothing happened. It's not about yelling or crying. It's about being invisible. And that might be the saddest part of all. Episode 2, The Mirror. This one gets spooky fast. Gumball and Darwin stumble across a cursed mirror in the school's basement, and things spiral hard when Gumball accidentally unleashes the Snatcher, a terrifying, shadowy figure with glowing red eyes.
So let me get this straight!
But here's the twist. The Snatcher isn't some random ghost. He's actually Vladis, Carrie's long-lost father, cursed and trapped inside the mirror after dabbling in dark magic. The Snatcher, now revealed as Vladis, climbs out of the mirror. He's finally free of the curse, and for a brief, beautiful moment, Carrie gets her dad back. They try to hug, but he phases through her and falls out the window, dying. Again. Then he returns, not as a monster, but as a ghost, and in that form, they finally share the embrace they've been denied for so long. The Wattersons arrive just in time, quietly watching the reunion unfold. No jokes, just quiet joy. Yeah, that's the moment that hits you right in the soul. Episode 1, The Disaster. The Disaster is where Gumball's reality completely collapses. It starts mid-song, mid-road trip, mid-laugh, and then time freezes. Rob appears, holding a universal remote that lets him control everything. He rewinds events, scrambles personalities, and erases Gumball's relationship with Penny. Gumball's the only one who notices, and when he confronts Rob, he learns the truth. Rob remembers everything. The resets, the void, the episodes no one recalls. Rob doesn't want revenge. He wants recognition, and to get it, he's willing to erase Gumball. Just before Rob can delete him, Gumball dives into the void and grabs the remote. As everything unravels, he hits rewind at the last second, and the episode cuts to black. No answers, no closure, just a terrifying idea that none of it might have even been real. So yeah, Gumball might have looked like just another kid's show, but behind the talking donuts, rainbow explosions, and endless chaos were stories about identity, regret, loss, and growing up way too fast. The saddest part, most of us didn't even notice when we were kids, but now that we're older, now that we get it, those moments hit different. And once you've seen Gumball's world for what it really is, it's kinda hard to unsee.